Happened on the 9th of July, Sunday afternoon, around 4 o'clock in the evening. I heard a commotion. I was in the house watching Cincinnati Reds, and I looked outside and saw our car, and I saw smoke in it. And at first, I didn't realize it was ours.
All the windows were completely black. My dad jumped up. He looked outside.
For me, it's like yesterday. I saw her go up in flames. I couldn't get her out. All the doors were locked.
And I tried to open the car doors. They were hot to the touch. They were burning my hands. They were all locked. I couldn't open the doors.
I remember when the fire went, I was afraid of them trying to get her out of the car. I've been overseas and I saw people who've been on fire before, and I was afraid that if they would pull her arm off.
I thought she was dead. I mean, she was completely black. She didn't have any hair. Did not look like my mom. They put her in the ambulance, and I knew I had to call my siblings.
And I knew that it was probably life-threatening. I was going to dinner at this girl's house, and no one really knew how to get a hold of me there, but they did.
She didn't explain everything, but she said they're taking her to UC now. We need to get her over there as soon as possible.
It was a car accident, but yet we were in the burn unit. Like, it didn't make any sense.
And my dad was shaking really bad. And so I remember going up to him and hugging him and telling him that it was going to be all right.
They were able to, I think, bring us into a room and explain that, she had been badly burned.
And then went back up, and I was able to go see her. And that was really hard, because you could still smell burnt flesh, and she was completely wrapped up in the bandages.
Dr. Kagan, he was very brutally honest. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He told us it was going to take a miracle for her to survive this.
We had to stay. She wasn't going to make it through the night.
Because every day was a battle. They told us, they said, it's like her body's running a marathon, and one day her heart just might say, I've had enough. And she might get past all the grafts and all the surgeries, and her body still might not have enough.
I remember the doctor telling us that, he's had one miracle in his lifetime. And I says, well, Doc, you're due for another one. And we do have one.
My accident happened in July of 2000. I was supposed to go out of town the next day to Chicago for work. I just went to the grocery store to pick up some last-minute items, and I also picked up some pool chemicals. I was almost home when the explosion happened.
What they do in the burn world is they take how old you are, and they add it to your percentage of burn. And that's your percentage of dying, not your percentage of living.
I had 107% chance of dying. I had 0 chance of survival. The doctors and nurses never treated me that way at the hospital. They did everything that they possibly could do to save my life. I was in a drug-induced coma for 4.5 months. It was a completely up and down cycle for my family, because there would be times that I would be doing good, and then the next day, and they didn't think I was going to make it through the night. I had to learn to walk again, but my arms, I couldn't even bring my hand to my mouth. I had to learn to feed myself. I had to learn to swallow again, but it was hard for me to communicate because I had a trach in. I lost my ears and my eyelids and my nose in the fire. The nose construction surgery took 3 different surgeries to complete it. I have cornea damage from the burn, which so my eyesight isn't good enough. I'm not able to drive. I need a magnifying glass to read. I have trouble recognizing people at a distance. The hearing loss is the one that's the hardest for me to deal with, because not being able to hear kind of separates you from people. It makes it very easy to withdraw because you're not hearing the conversation. I feel like my hearing is the loss that I feel the most, and some of my independence.
I think we all knew or had the suspicion that there was a reason that her legs weren't burned, and we just thought that she had places to go and things to do.
Her organs were shutting down, and so she wasn't making any, she was not having any hearing output. So we decided, well, there's rain dances, let's do a pee dance.
And we did.
And so we were at UC Hospital trying to bring out the pee.
So this is pretty much how it was, because we had a choice. We could laugh or cry. And a lot of times it was just, we were able to laugh, which was good.
Yes, or we laughed before we cried.
Yeah.
Or we would laugh
do
till we
both.
cried, or cried till we laughed. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
We just did whatever we could. So
Right.
we weren't above rain dances or pee dances.
I mean, we were there for, what, every day for
Months.
months at a time. All had bad days, and it felt like we all took our turn. Like, if you were having a bad day, we were all going to be there to lift you up. If I was having a bad day,
And and don't you think you learned that from mom and dad? Right? Like they're just examples of finding the silver lining in things.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
We really intentionally tried to keep negative out of that room.
Right.
If you want to break down, do it out in the lobby or whatever. We tried to just keep it warm and full of as much healing love that we could. Mom's a light to so many other people, but there were so many people that were a light to us and helped guide us along our path.
just every day she kept continuing to getting stronger and better, and she wanted to do more for herself. And she's inspired so many people. You know, she had 2 grandchildren in her accident. Now she has 13 or 14.
But I thank the Lord she's here. She's come a long ways. She's a lot tougher than I'll ever be, I know that. Thankful that she's able to see all her grandkids, and, you know, for some that's the only way they're ever gonna know her, you know, so.
She's been through so many indignities, and she was never mean. She would say, "I'm sorry that you have to do this. I'm sorry that," and it was never like angry.
I think the help and support of my family and so many people helped, because it wasn't like anybody seemed around me seemed shocked or put off by how I looked. And you know, to know that you're still loved, I think is very important to the healing process. We had so much community support. Campbell County's a good place to live. Most of all, I'm thankful for their prayers, because I really think that, I mean, I know it was the power of God that I survived, and their prayers helped. And also, I think sometimes just knowing people are praying for you gives you hope and support. Early on, probably it was just a little less than a year after my burn, we found out about the Phoenix Society, which is a worldwide support group for burn victims. My family was all excited about going, and I remember being apprehensive about it. I didn't know that I wanted to go. I didn't know if I was ready. It was totally amazing, and that was what the whole experience was for me.
It's a place where they can come and be themselves, be comfortable in their own skin.
Everyone wanted to hug you or say, "What's your story? What's your story?" And that was like the first time I learned that I did have a story to tell, that my family had a story, and it was just beginning.
I think at that time was a realization that I could get back to feeling normal. I could get back to accepting myself, but not to concentrate on my limitations, but to concentrate on what I had left and what I could still do and be grateful for it. Having a relationship with people is, I think, is the key to being able to recover, not just recover from the burn injury, but to be able to go on and thrive afterwards.
We're all just better people because of what we've learned, the life skills we've gained, and that what's important truly is on the inside. And you can't just say that, you gotta live it. And my mom is such an example of that.
Through the years, I've become involved in St. Vincent de Paul. My husband and I currently, besides our work with our parish, we work at the St. Vincent de Paul pantry once a week.
The president will call one of the volunteers to take food to people. I think we both have this strong urge to make sure people get fed.
Giving back is also another healing. When you can give back or when you can help other people, you can forget about your own woes and realize how blessed you are.
I could not have found a better mate. So I'm truly blessed. I'm thankful for all that I have, and I'm very blessed. Got some great kids, some great grandkids.
You can have a bad day, it's all right. You just don't need to make your bad days your new way of life. It's all right to mourn your losses, but rejoice in what you still have.